teacher's college, now this college, called the Proposal Development course. So John Cresswell started this course, and many years ago I picked it up as he got more and more interested in qualitative research and not less interested in dissertations, but come on in.
There's chairs down here.
So I've been doing this for a long time, and it's been a wonderful experience for me because I get to meet students who are writing dissertations from other fields than my own, from all over the university. I have students from communications, from English, from history, many students from education. I've even had students from statistics, which is weird. Statistics proposals tend to be 12, 15, 20-page proposals. Most of them unintelligible because they're all formulas. But I've actually had students who wanted to take the course to get critique on their writing and the presentation of their ideas. So that led me to write the book that, I don't know your name, but William held up. And that led to Tarek suggesting that maybe we should have a session on writing the dissertation proposal. And I'm teaching a course right now, and I thought, well, it would be good to have a doctoral student at the stage where she has just completed her proposal but hasn't presented it yet. So, I mean, she's gone through what maybe some of you have gone through. I don't know where you're all at. But everybody's journey is a little bit different, but it's always good and useful to hear what others have to say about what is a fairly mysterious experience. In fact, the purpose of my book was to help demystify that to some degree. So let's see, I've got some books I'm going to reference, and then I'm going to just talk through some of the very early topics in this book. When we're done with that, and I'm going to ask Heather to help me with that, I'm going to ask Heather to talk a little bit about her study, and I haven't made enough copies of the first few pages for everybody, but you have a copy of
Yes,
flash drive?
yes, I have.
So I always, one of the things that's interesting about dissertations, this is a print media, so you have to be a writer to make a dissertation proposal, right? Well, that's a given. So the better a writer you are, and the easier at writing you are, at least the assumption is the more quickly your dissertation proposal will come together. So some people are good writers, and some people are not. Some people have learned how to write academic language, and some people have resisted it. I know I did my degree at Stanford, and it was a heavily social science oriented degree. And I came to that degree from being an English teacher and I thought a writer. And Stanford taught me how to not be a good writer. Taught me how to write like a social scientist. And that's a definite style of writing. It's very declarative, it's very non-metaphorical. It's almost an in-your-face kind of writing. But you have to learn how to do that generally, unless you happen to have a committee and an advisor that welcomes other kinds of writing styles. And we can talk about that in a minute. So I've always liked books that talk about writing. My very favorite is a little book called The Elements of Style, which some of you may know. It's been around for 1,000 years.
Don't say how long, because I know that book.
But maybe not everybody else does. And it's a very useful book. It's short and it's accessible. And you can get it on Amazon.com for about $3 or less. So it's not expensive. And it's something that I still turn to when I write. It's just good stylistic advice. Another book I like is a book called Usage and Abusage by Eric Partridge. I don't know whether this may be out of print, but it's got all kinds of words and phrases that are often misused. So that's another one. We don't use Turabian much, Turabian's guide, and I'm not gonna hand this one around, but this is what the MLA style manual tends to use. And it's a guide to writing research papers. And then, of course, there's the Bible. And you can get a lot of this online now. This is the American Psychological Association Style Manual. And most dissertations in this college are done using the APA style. You can also get this, you can look at Purdue. Do you remember what that Purdue website is?
The owl.
Yeah, Purdue Owl. It's probably, in some ways, almost as good as buying the book. The book's expensive. And Purdue University's Owl is actually somewhat easier to navigate and gives you the basics. Okay, so for those of you who are looking, here's that. So looks like we got, I see some very familiar faces, so I know some of you have been around. How many of you are you in TOTE? Oh, quite a few of you. How many of you are in Ed Psych? Over here. And how many of you are in special ed? How about textiles? How about child, youth, and families? And am I missing somebody? I'm missing something. What am I missing? Nutrition? Okay. So it's a pretty good smattering of folks from different departments. And Heather is from Ag Lec. We'll talk a little bit about what's in this book in the early chapters. And then, as I said, I'm going to ask Heather to talk a little bit about her study, and then we'll have questions, okay? So, and please ask questions as we go. So, the dissertation proposal is obviously a convention that you have to do before you can do your dissertation. And it has to be approved by your committee. So it's sort of the last stage in the doctoral degree. Most people don't do the proposal until they're pretty well through with coursework, if not completed with coursework. And that's a good idea, because you don't want to be distracted. It's hard enough to get a dissertation proposal together without also trying to meet assignments and readings in other courses. And I should say that the dissertation is a tremendous amount of work for most of us. For some people it falls in place magically, but for most of us it's a struggle. It's a struggle to get a topic, it's a struggle to get it approved, it's a struggle to find time to meet with your advisor. Your committee may change, your advisor may change, your world isn't the way it was when you started your degree. So there are all kinds of things that trip people up, which means that getting a dissertation proposal approved is a lot of work. And it takes a lot of persistence. And I will tell you that research studies have been done on what is it that gets doctoral students to their degree, and the single most important factor is persistence. So you have to be just plain stubborn sometimes. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the convention